This is Regent Mary Sherwood, and I am calling this meeting of the Del Mar Board to canvass the election votes together at 11:30 a.m. And I believe we will have on our screen momentarily the vision statement, which we will read. Del Mar College will be the premier choice for life-changing educational opportunities provided by responsive, innovative faculty and staff who empower students to improve local and global communities. And I believe that we do not have any public comments today. Is that correct?
That's correct, Regent.
Okay. Great. And now I'm going to introduce Ms. Jessica Alanis. She is our election administrator, and she is going to discuss the results of the election.
Thank you, Regent Sherwood. Today, the canvassing authority, which by election code is defined as 2 members of our governing body, which we have present today, will be reviewing and taking action on the election results for the 2020 general election. The election results, as you see in front of you and on screen, are comprised of the votes that were tabulated from absentee voting, early voting, and votes received on election day, November 3rd. The Nueces County Ballot Board met on Tuesday to review all mail-in ballots and provisional voting before each entity could officially canvass votes to take action on their election. And so this report is after the County Ballot Board has examined all ballots and votes that have been returned or taken place for this election. This year, early voting took place for 3 weeks in October, and on election day, general voting took place on November 3rd. For this year's ballot, Del Mar College District had 2 races on the ballot with 3 open seats for Regents. As you see the results on the screen, I will read the totals of each of the candidates in their respective races that they've received for this year's election. And if you have any questions, please let me know. For Regent District 4, we had 3 candidates. First candidate, Guy Watts, absentee voting, 594 votes. Early voting, 6,421. Election day voting, 1,035, with a total of 8,050 votes received. Lori Turner, absentee voting, 1,237 votes. Early voting, 7,375. Election day voting, 836, with a total votes received of 9,448. Richard Pittman, absentee voting, 496. Early voting, 3,504. Election day voting, 420, with total votes received of 4,420. In this race, the individual with the highest votes received is Lori Turner with 9,448 votes. Under the next race for Regent at large, there were 2 open seats, so voters had a choice to vote for 2 candidates. First candidate, Nick Adame, absentee voting, 5,825. Early voting, 30,345. Election day voting, 4,932, with a total votes received of 41,102. John F. Wilson, absentee voting, 1,407. Early voting, 13,043. Election day, 2,129, with a total votes received of 16,579. Sean Flanagan, absentee voting, 1,594. Early voting, 13,662. Election day, 1,964. Total votes received, 17,220. Carol Scott, absentee voting, 5,199. Early voting, 29,075. Election day voting, 3,904, with a total votes received of 38,178. In this race, there were 2 open seats, so your 2 candidates with the highest votes are Nick Adame and Carol Scott. At this point, our general counsel, Mr. Rivera, has an order to read for canvassing of the votes. Are there any questions from the regents before he does that?
No. Augie, you're muted.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Alanis, and thank you, Regents Sherwood and Averett. Before you, you have the proposed order that documents your canvassing action this morning, and it reads as follows. It is hereby ordered by the Board of Regents Canvassing Authority of the Del Mar College District that whereas a Board of Regents election was regularly called and held in and for the district on November 3rd, 2020 after due notice and in accordance with the laws of the state, and whereas this canvassing authority finds that the vote in this election has in all respects been properly and lawfully returned and reported to this canvassing authority, and whereas said vote has been carefully and properly canvassed by this canvassing authority and the results determined in the manner provided by law, therefore this canvassing authority finds after said canvass that, and then there are sections here to that have the two different the single member district race as well as the at-large race that just took place, with spaces for the blanks to be filled in accordance with the information that's been provided to us and that was just reported to by Ms. Alanis. Then the order goes on the next page as part of your findings that Lori Turner received the greatest number of votes cast in said election in single member District 4 full term, and that the at-large candidates for the two full-term at-large positions who receive the greatest number of votes cast by electors residing in the entire district are Nick Adame and Carol Scott. Therefore, this board hereby finds, declares, and orders that Lori Turner has been duly and properly elected from single-member District 4 to the office of Regent of the Del Mar College District for the full term, and Nick Adame and Carol Scott have been duly and properly elected at-large to the office of Regent of the Del Mar College District, that they shall take office as such upon taking the oaths required by law, and that the chair or vice chair of the Board of Regents shall issue to each of such newly elected regent a certificate of election as provided by law. There's a section here for to record the vote or a motion and a second and your vote, and then appropriate signatures if this order is approved. Any questions about the order, Regents?
I have none. Do we have a motion?
So moved that we approve the order as presented.
And I second. So I guess that concludes the business that we have today. And if there's nothing else.
But you formally call for the vote,
Oh,
Madam Chair?
thank you. So shall we have a show of hands for those who wish to approve the motion? And that would be both of us. Can you see my hand? Great. So now, with the vote taken, I believe we're ready to adjourn the meeting. Is that correct?
Unless there are any other questions. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have none. So we are adjourning the meeting at 11:39 a.m. Thank everybody. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you.